In this video, I want to show you how you can be more productive than ever, get way more done without having to sacrifice your family, without having to sacrifice your health, without having to sacrifice the things that are important to you. Any asshole can just work, let his fitness go to shit while his wife is cheating on him and his kids hate him. That doesn't take skill. Any dickhead can do that. What we're going to talk about is time management, so you can actually manage all the areas in your life and excel in each of them. And I'm well suited to show you how to do that, because not only am I a father, not only do I have a great relationship with my girlfriend, I have tons of amazing friends, great relationship with my family, but I was able to do that and make millions of dollars simultaneously. And I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to time management, we got to remember there are 4 quadrants of life. There is wealth, health. I know I'm an amazing artist. Try not to get too distracted by it. There's family and friends. Then you got sexual relationships. Your girlfriend, your wife, your hoes, bitches, whatever. And the reason sexual relationships are in a different quadrant, a lot of people put that with family, friends, and relationship, because the average person has 9 relationships before they're married. People are breaking up with people all the time, right? But your family, you usually have one family, right? I've dumped bitches for raising their voice at me, right? But my family members, they usually get a little more leeway. Okay, so these are the 4 quadrants of life. Now, it's important to make a distinction. Money and health are the 2 things you need to live. You cannot live life without money and health. However, family and friends, sexual relationships make life worth living. So you can live without a sex partner. You can live without family, but life sucks without those things, right? If you don't have enough money, the way it's set up, you will die, right? You don't have a food, shelter, and obviously your health. These are the 4 quadrants of life. Just because we want to excel in all of these, we still have to have a focus. It's very important. One that we focus on. Different times of your life, you might change the focus, but for the most part, you want to focus on what? The wealth. Because this is the only one that improves every other area. I know this because when my father killed himself, I had to take care of the family. So I had to do what? Get money. Can't pay my mom's bills with love alone. Needed money. Right? When the motherfucking IRS came for all those fucking back taxes because they filed jointly, they didn't want my love. They didn't want her son's love. Right? They wanted that money.
Let's go get this money.
You get what I'm saying? That's how her bills gets paid. When my cousin died and it was 20 grand for the funeral, I couldn't pay with my love or tears, right? I had to give them some money, right? And then who had to pay for his daughter's school? His daughter still had to go to school even though there was no more income, had to pay for it with money, not love, right? So money improves your relationship with your family, friends. Money improves your health. Magic Johnson would be dead. He would have died in the 90s, like everyone else who had HIV, if he was not a multi-millionaire. And studies show that wealthy people live about 10% longer on average than the middle class, and the middle class lives significantly longer than the poor. So poor boys be dying early, all right, for health reasons. In sexual relationships, women initiate 80% of divorces, and the number one reason cited for divorce as far as financial reasons stands to reason that if you want to be in a loving, lasting relationship, you better get some of this motherfucking cash, right? So we're going to focus on money because it improves all the other ones, but we're not going to neglect the other ones as well, right? We're still going to make time for our friends and family. We're still going to make time to take care of our health, and we're still going to make time for sexual relationships. All right. Now, how are we going to do that? I'm going to show you how to plan everything. Before I do that, it's very important that you understand a super important concept. And this is the concept of single tasking. So a lot of people will look at those quadrants and think, oh man, I need to learn how to multitask. Multitasking is a goddamn myth. Studies show that when you switch between tasks, things take way longer. You make more mistakes, and it cuts down your productivity by up to 40%. And there's a few reasons by that. So we got to learn how to single task. And when I say single task, I mean we're going to do one thing at a time. So in a minute, I'm going to show you how to plan out all areas of your life in your calendar. But you got to understand this concept first. We're going to single task. We're going to do one thing at a time. So you're not going to be working and playing basketball with your kids simultaneously. You're not going to be doing spreadsheets while trying to give your girl head. We're going to do one thing at a time. It's very important because people try to multitask, but shit don't work. And there's a few reasons for that. first of all is your brain wasn't designed to do that. This is how the brain works. This is my drawing of a brain. I know I'm a great artist. Just try to focus. Don't get too distracted. There's a few different parts of your brain. First, we have what we call the prefrontal cortex. And this part of your brain is responsible for shifting attention. Then there's another part of your brain called the post-parental lobe. In this part of your brain, it sets rules for tasks that you're involved in. All right. Then we have another part of your brain. Again, remember, all of these are being activated when you switch tasks. It looks like a little Pac-Man or something. And this is the anterior gyrus. And this part of your brain is responsible for monitoring errors, to figuring out when you're making mistakes and when you're not. And there's one more part. It's kind of up in here, this region. And that's the premotor cortex. This job is for getting ready for movement. You use all these different type of parts of your brain when you switch tasks. And the problem with that is you use way more brain energy than if you just did one thing at a time. All these brain areas are not recruited when you're working on one thing simultaneously. But if you're trying to switch tasks, do multiple things at once, you're using all these different parts of your brain simultaneously. And you work your brain way harder than you need to. And it's way more arduous on your brain than it needs to be. And the reason that's important is because your brain uses 20% of your body's energy at rest when it's doing nothing. So imagine when you start activating all these different regions of your brain, you got them working hard, it starts to go way up. As a result, when you multitask, you don't really do two things at once. You're constantly switching tasks. For example, get a pen and paper and do this. Write the first letter of your name. Then below it, write the first letter of a pet's name. Then go back, write the second letter of your name, second letter of a pet's name. You keep doing that until both names are written. Now, think about how long that took you. Now just write both names one at a time. Odds are you wrote the names one at a time much faster. Why? Because there's no such thing as multitasking. That's what you're doing. You're task switching when you go back and forth from one name to another. That's what multitasking really is. I mean, you're never really doing multiple things at once. You're switching between tasks. And the reason it takes so much longer is because this is going to represent multitasking. This is going to represent single tasking. When you do that, what happens is you do one thing, then you have to stop and your brain has to recalibrate. That's probably what happened when you were writing the first letter of each name. Boom. And you had the little gap, then you went and kept going. However, when you single task, you can go the same amount of distance without these little gaps. And the gaps is why it takes you so much longer to get things done, because your brain has to reacclimate to a task when you switch. And those gaps kill productivity. You may be asking yourself, hey, Brandon, why are you talking about this, right? Because first, we need to understand that we need to single task instead of multitask. And now once we've done that, now we have to start doing something called time blocking. This way we can focus on one thing at a time. I'm gonna show you my calendar. I plan out every hour, every day on my calendar. I do my best to leave no gaps, and I'm only working on one thing at a time. As a result, I get things done way faster because my brain is not working that hard and I don't have those time gaps. So what you need to start doing, plan your days in Google Calendar. That's the only one worth using. And I suggest you plan out every hour of every day, right? And do one thing at a time. That's very important. And you're going to get so much more done because you're not doing this dumb shit you've been doing all your life. But also, your day has structure. And you can actually choreograph it. Now, remember, there's 4 quadrants of life. So we need to plan for each of these quadrants. Whenever you're working, you get money sessions, you got to put that in your calendar. Your health and fitness, put it in your calendar when you're going to work out. I plan when I'm going to eat, when I'm going to go to sleep, my wake up time, like everything's in there. If you want to kick it with your homies, do fun stuff with your family and friends, put it in the calendar. And what's important is when I'm with my son, I am not doing other shit. I'm not working. I'm not trying to do a bunch of other shit, you know? When I'm with my girlfriend, same. And when I'm in the gym, I'm not on my phone. I'm not doing other shit. I'm just working out. And that's why I get so much more done. But also, one, because I'm not multitasking, but more importantly, because the day is choreographed. Every time I talk about working hard, people get mad at me. And I didn't think it was controversial that if you wanted extreme financial success, that you have to probably put in extreme effort. I didn't think that was a controversial take, but I think people misconstrued it and they said, I don't want to sacrifice family. I don't want to sacrifice my health. No one told you to do that, dipshit. No, I'm telling you, what's going to happen is you're going to start sacrificing the other things, the bullshit. You're going to plan the stuff that's important because these are the only 4 things that are important, right? Everything else is bullshit. So you're going to sacrifice the Netflix. Somebody asked me the other day, man, you've been watching that new Squid Games? No, I didn't watch the first one. I only have Netflix because every few years Dave Chappelle comes out with a comedy shit, and that's the only place I can watch it, right? But that's it. Or they got live sports now, right? Shit like that. You sacrifice your TV shows, sacrifice your video games. You're gonna sacrifice Pornhub, right? You're gonna sacrifice Call of Duty weed smoking sessions. Maybe you sacrifice going out to the club, but you'll get the important shit done. Why? Because it's in your calendar. And there's another benefit to this. A lot of you guys are trying to break bad habits. You're trying to stop doing some bullshit. Well, because you're just trying to stop doing it, but you don't have to even do that. If your calendar is full of the productive things, the things that help you move towards your goal, there won't be no time for bullshit. I haven't smoked weed in over 10 years, but I acknowledge that it's awesome. I don't have to try not to do it. I stopped smoking weed on accident because my calendar was so full. If I plan every hour of every day with important stuff, when am I gonna have time to get high? You get what I'm saying? It was an accident. I was like, oh, I haven't smoked in man long. I might as well quit, right? The same thing happened with alcohol. I was just so focused, working hard, that it was like, oh, I haven't drank in like almost a year. Not even trying, just because I was so focused. You'll inadvertently squeeze out the bad habit because you just won't have time for them. This is a cheat code. Everybody wants to, man, do this to quit habits. I need to go on a dopamine detox. I need to do no fap. Shut up, nerd. Just pack your calendar for the productive shit and you won't have no time for the bullshit. I got all the same propensity for vices as you. Smoking weed is great. Getting drunk is awesome. Chasing hoes, going to strip clubs, all that shit is just as fun to me as it is to you, but my calendar is full of productivity. Yours is blank, so you fill it with vices on accident. And you wonder why you can't stop doing this shit because you didn't replace it with good shit. You can't just quit the shit, you gotta replace it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start time blocking. You're building your Coliseum because you're a warrior now. In the first part of this Coliseum, you're going to have time blocking and you're going to use your calendar. Now that you got your Coliseum though, you're going to need to build little pillars. And the first pillar is going to be your get money sessions. Whatever you do for money, if you got your job, a side hustle, if you drive Uber, all right, whatever it is you're doing to get money, your financial mode, this is going to be the first pillar, the get money sessions. Put it in your calendar. Then the next thing that needs to be in your calendar, your health and fitness. Remember, those are the most important ones. Boom, your health and fitness. What you're going to do is you're going to put your fucking bedtime. So this is going to be when you go to sleep. People ask me, man, how you get up early? Oh, I go to sleep early, man. I sleep at 9:30 or 10:30, right? When am I going to have time to do some bullshit, though? If I'm asleep, your wake up time, workouts, meals. My meals are in my calendar. Oh, yours are not? No wonder you fucking eat like shit. You got to choreograph your life, man. And money sessions, this is going to be, job, side hustle, biz, whatever you got going on. And it could be the busiest starting. If you want to start a business, if you want to start a side hustle, don't get around to it. Block off the time in your calendar, man. Then we start prioritizing the other shit. Friends and family, put it in your calendar. My homie Jeremy, he hit me up. He was like, yo, let's get together, man, with the girls and let's go to Nobu. And I was like, bet, when you want to go? And we came up with a time. And next thing you know, Jeremy sent me a calendar invite on Google Calendar. That's how me and my friends get down. That's why we rich. My boy Wade was like, yo, let's link up and go to the range. We agreed on time. Wade sent me a Google Calendar invite. I swear to God, right? Dinners, hangouts, whatever else you motherfuckers do together. And then your sex partners, friends and family, right? Family over women, bros over hoes. Very important. We can never forget about that. And if you're a woman, same thing, man. Don't be fucking shitting on your friends for some dude. Good friends are difficult to find. Fucking sex partners, you can get one at any time, especially if you're a woman, man. You can get one this afternoon, man. Nima, today, man, just hit him up. I'm just playing. Nima got a girlfriend, man. He's off the market. All right, sex partner, right? So if you was at date nights, vacay, all this shit should be in your calendar. And your calendar should be full of this shit and this shit only. What else is left? Nothing important. If you got some hobbies or some shit you're trying to do, okay, that's fine. Put it in your calendar. Like even me, I didn't put it here, but I have like time to practice my guitar in a calendar, right? Very brief period of time, but it's in there. It's very important. And you know, some people may say this is not romantic. And it's like, you know what's really not romantic? Not having money. That's less romantic. Nothing dry up a pussy faster than an empty wallet. That's a fact, man. You know, you prioritize your health and fitness. I mean, what are you gonna do? Get around to it? And then your friends and family, they should be in your calendar. And some people will be like, man, you shouldn't have to plan with your family. You shouldn't have to plan with it. Shut your poor ass up, man. I fucking hate you, right? The truth is, for me, if it's not in my calendar, that means I don't give a fuck about it. The things that are important are on my calendar. My girlfriend is in my calendar because she's important. My son is in my calendar because it's important. Some people was making fun of me, and I said this before in the video. He said, Brandon's like, all right, time's up, son, gotta go, right? And it's like, yeah, it's funny, but the truth is, man, kids have fucking bedtimes. Fucking little kids, they sleep fucking 9:30. You know what I'm saying? I know when his bedtime is, right? And that's when it's fucking over. Anyway, you want to put this in your calendar. It's very important, man. It will not work without this. Now, if you can do this, if you can work on one thing at a time and put everything in your calendar and plan your days, then every day can be a successful day. It'll help you avoid distractions because now you're on a schedule. And again, when you're doing your get money sessions, you want to, unless your phone is part of you getting money, you put your phone away. Like I'm not doing nothing else right now but doing this video. I'm not checking nothing else. I'm just here with y'all. That's why it's so good. Now, I have another video all about how to use the calendar, and I go into great detail about how to set up your calendar, how to set up Google Calendar, how to set up recurring tasks, and how to automate a lot of this. You want to go watch that video now.